Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina Margot.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Vic Akers Wonderland. We are here for the Southampton game preview, which is going to be on Thursday night at St Mary's. It's going to be fantastic atmosphere, as I imagine, as we head into another Conti Cup fixture. I am joined, as always, by Adam. How are you, Adam?
Good. It was a good weekend, and very much looking for the return of some midweek football. Went all right for us in the last round, so fingers crossed, repeat performance would be quite nice.
And we are joined by a special guest from the All Saints podcast. Just let everyone know who you are and what the podcast is about and how you got into Southampton.
Yeah, sure. Okay, no problem. First of all, I will just say apologies. My voice is a little bit hoarse after yesterday's game against Crystal Palace. A 7-goal thriller. It was in use, and I'm paying for it today.
Was that a 7-goal thriller win, or was that a loss?
It was a 7-goal thriller win. Thank goodness.
Excellent.
We needed it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Although if you talk to the Palace fans, they're like, oh, they're not happy at all. But hey ho, yeah, we came out victorious, which was just brilliant. But anyway, yeah, hi, I'm Jude. I am the host and I suppose, host of All Saints Pod. We started about a year ago, so we're now into our second season. Thoroughly enjoying it. We've all, the three of us, we've been sort of supporting the women's team from about 2019. One of us actually was there from the beginning of 2018, and we've watched the girls come through the leagues, and we just thought, going into the championship last year, they've turned professional. We wanted to get more coverage and more kind of content out there about the team, because we absolutely love women's football. It's so much better than the men's, and considering that I'm a Saint, was so much better than the men's. And so we wanted to just try and help put the team out there and just support women's football within our area, because apart from Southampton, there's a lot of teams that are in like grassroots. We've got the former Southampton Women FC, who the ones who actually kind of won the FA Cup 8 times. I think it's only Arsenal now, isn't it, who've actually surpassed that. Yeah. All right. But they were like trailblazers back in the 80s. So we get in touch with them. We have them on the pod as well. And we're just trying to, we just love women's football, and we're just trying to get it out there and make it accessible for everybody, and just help the club, because we all know how far behind it is from the men's game, which is heavily, has so much media. So we're so second year of the championship, and hopefully, you never know, maybe we'll go up, but at least if we can be in contention for it, it'll be another good season. So that's our aim, I think.
Well, for those of us who haven't probably followed the championship, whereabouts are Southampton at the moment in the shake-up?
So we are currently third.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah, which is pretty good. We're currently behind. We're 1 point behind leaders Charlton, cheating Charlton, as we like to call them. And Sunderland are on the same points as them, and then we're a point behind them in third.
Oh, blimey. I knew Sunderland were doing okay. I wasn't aware of Charlton, and I know Charlton, again, another team that has heritage when it comes to women's football. The likes of them used to be, certainly the early 2000s. I think they won the FA Cup once. They actually did have a few good years. So it's good to see them making a comeback as well. Although you say cheating, Charlton. Been a bit dastardly skullduggery from them, has there?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I mean, have you ever heard of a team to have 11 penalties within their first 9 games of a season? Of a season.
That's so 11. Hang on,
11 in
penalties?
consecutive games. They've had 9 games. So 9 games of last season. In the first 9 games, they had 11 penalties.
Oh, we could do with some of that luck.
This season, they're probably on about 8 penalties, and 4 games have been winning penalties that have got them the game. So that's 12 points. It's a bit cheeky.
Seems when they lose a shootout in the Conti Cup, and then maybe these things will even themselves out. We shall see.
But it's Conti Cup, it's not league, so
yeah, that's the thing.
But anyway, that's so we're third, and the win yesterday was against high flying Crystal Palace, who actually have got a game in hand over all of us, and if they'd won, they would have gone top. I mean, they are currently they've got a goal difference of plus 22. Actually, no, sorry, 21 now. And they had scored. They scored 31 goals up until yesterday, and they've now scored 34 already, which in the Championship is kind of unheard of. They had like a amazing game against Durham where they won 9-1, which you just you don't get that in the Championship. They're really close games.
I know it's very competitive, like I said, close game. You don't normally get a battering like that.
No, you don't. So they are high flying. If they'd won, it would have really dented our hopes of any sort of like being in competition. But yeah, fortunately, 7 goal thriller. We can breathe again. Yeah.
That's
the
one thing that I do love about the Championship. It's very open. Those first couple of weeks before the WSL started, it was almost 6 or 7 teams that you were looking at potentially going up for that one spot, and it was just fantastic. The journey Southampton have had itself is huge, and to put it in perspective, I think we have to go back to when the WSL and the Championship were expanding. They were looking to bring clubs in. So around this time, you had West Ham just starting, Aston Villa, Southampton already had a club, but it wasn't really up there in terms of high and flying teams. But just take us through what the journey that Southampton have had so far, and what it means to have a team so successful at the moment.
Yeah, so for us, we formed in 2017. We are a completely new outfit, that's now affiliated with the club. Unfortunately, the previous team that was affiliated with the club, when we went down back in 2005, the men's side, that was it. They cut ties with the women's team, stopped all funding, and that was it. They cut them loose. And unfortunately, that team, I think, folded in about 2019. But so our new club, our new team, our new run club, Saints FC Women, or Southampton FC Women, we were founded in 2017. And in 2018, the then Les Reed, he's not the then, but he was our then director of football, he made the amazing decision to bring in a fantastic, amazing coach in the form of Arsenal legend, Marianne Spacey-Kell. And she's been with us now, been our head coach since 2018. And unfortunately, we were unlucky in our application to go into the Championship. We got pipped to the post by Man United at the time. And yeah, so we started our journey from playing in the lower leagues. So we've been through all the Hampshire leagues. We've been in all the lower tiers of the women's pyramid, and worked our way up. And yeah, it's been an experience. And we were lucky. The reason we could form our club and where we've kind of grown and where Marianne saw the potential is because we already had a fantastic centre of excellence in the form of Hampshire's centre of excellence, and then also the Southampton centre of excellence. So they kind of combined the two of them, and that's what became Southampton FC Women. And we've got some real talent that's actually come with us through the leagues. I mean, one of our players, Lucia Kendall, she's a midfielder, kind of wants to be sort of bases herself on it's like a Kira Walsh kind of type player. So we're talking 6 years ago, bless her, she was 13, 14, running up the steps of our ground at Totton, young thing. And now she's a professional footballer at the age of 19. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's massive for her. And now she's been called up to the under 23s as well for the Lionesses. So yeah, we've got a lot of homegrown talent. Half of our team have been with us from the start, and if they haven't been with us from the start, they probably started off in our Southampton School of Centre of Excellence, been off to other teams. So for that, I'm talking about the likes of Atlanta Primus, Rosie Parnell, Laura Rafferty. And they've gone off, they've had their time playing for London Bees or Chelsea or London City Lionesses, been over in America, and now we've got them back in Southampton. So actually, when you look at our team, bar about 4 players, they're all pretty much homegrown, which I don't think a lot of teams within both the WC and the WSL could boast at the moment. So yeah, we love that. Yeah, up until year on year, Marianne's installed a very professional outlook to the game. I think she's very much emboldened the idea of you act you prepare and you act and you behave for the way you want to be, not where you are at the moment. And so the professionalism of our girls, the mentality of our girls has always been a level higher than where we've probably been. And it's been an absolute joy to watch them. And of course, we've had our times where we were playing in the sort of the lower leagues and maybe playing someone over on the Isle of Wight and smashing them 15-0. And that was, it's great fun to watch, but it's not really testing the girls. And so we've went through our journey of the last 6 years. We've had the likes of playing Coventry United in the FA Cup. And that was good. That was back in January 2020, just before lockdown. And we gave them a good run for their money in the first half. It was kind of criminal. We could have been up 3-0, and you wouldn't have batted an eyelid because we played so well. But obviously then, second half comes in, and the fact that they were professionals and, we tired, and unfortunately we lost the game 4-1. But that game, it was our first one playing at St Mary's. We had a crowd of 5,500. That one goal was scored by our then amazing goal scorer Rachel Panting, who's now back playing, bless her, after having a child, and is now playing for Fulham. She was the first one to score at St Mary's. We've just broken records and sort of rising up through the leagues. And then tier 3. So obviously COVID happened, and unfortunately our league got curtailed. The girls had to have a layoff. We didn't go back to that league. And then we got upward movement because of what happened with COVID. So we jumped from tier 4 to tier 3 in this. And so in the season of 21-22, which is the season we came up in the end, we came up against the likes of Oxford, against Ipswich, and Portsmouth as well. They were in the running at the time. They were like our big main rivals. And in November, we played Ipswich at home. And it was the first time that the team experienced defeat. And Ipswich acted like they'd won the league when they won 2-0. And yeah, they're lovely. And we kind of, I think that was kind of like a bit of fire in the bellies of the girls. They're like, well, okay, we're not going to lose anything. We're not going to lose again. And in the January of 21, we played Bristol City, who were a league above us in the FA Cup. And we took that game to a 0-0 draw at full time. And then an extra time in the second half of extra time, we came out, we scored 1 goal. Our keeper then saved a penalty, and we managed to turn over Bristol City to go into the next round of the 5th round of the FA Cup. Through all this as well, we went on a cup run in the League Cup. And so that season, we then had, because of like, you know how, well, something you guys don't experience anymore is like games being called off because of weather and frozen pitches and waterlogged pitches.
No. We
Yeah,
had
so
plenty of those.
really, still.
Joe Montemuro's final season, I think there was like 2 games where the players turned up, and it was like, no, last season, Brighton, legendary moment, the Brighton one, because the Crawley game was the pitch was frozen.
Yeah.
All the Arsenal fans turned up, cancelled last minute, so lots of women more put some money behind the
No.
park, and all the fans that travel got a free pint, and so that's why there's a chant at the Arsenal, which is Lotta buys the beers. It's gone down in folklore. And of course, we then played Brighton last weekend, and everybody was very quick to bring up. It was a legendary moment.
Yeah, I love it.
That season, with the FA Cup and everything, it's a fantastic story, because that was what really drew my attention back to Southampton. There was so many players that I could have named and mentioned at the time. Laura Rafferty, who actually chose to come down from Chelsea.
Yeah,
she went from Chelsea to Reading, and then she chose to go down to Southampton. So that's the kind of pull that a manager has. When you're looking, and that was so brilliant to see that she didn't even not a Northern Ireland international. You don't really expect to see in the lower leagues of the football pyramid, but she brought a lot of experience to that Southampton team. You had Kyla Rendell in goal, who I absolutely love. She's a fantastic goalkeeper, and I've been lucky enough to see her twice now in the playoff final and against Wolves. And and when the under-23s were up here playing against Belgium, and she had a fantastic game as well. There's other players in that team, Millie Mott, as you mentioned, Lucia Kendall as well. She's another fantastic player. And if you look at them, and I have a feeling that if people aren't watching Southampton to get a feel for who are these future stars that could be potentially not just only playing for Southampton, but they could be potential England internationals. Yeah.
You've forgotten one of them, Ella Morris. Yeah, she's another one. I mean, so the most recent under-23s, Lionesses under-23s, we actually had 4 players there, which was Rendell. My mother will kill me. Kayla Rendell, Lucia Kendall, Ella Morris, and Molly Pike. You could also add to that quite easily Paige Peake. She has also been with the under-23s, but she's missed out, but she'll be back in there after her performances of late. She'll be back in there. So we'll have 5 players who are from Southampton in that Lionesses squad, and that's phenomenal. There's other players like Katie Rawlinson and Robinson, and a few others, you know them, but 5 from one team actually playing as well. Yeah, they're special. They really are special. So yeah, thanks for that. So that season then, yeah, so we then so we had all these backlog of games, and we had about a two month period where we were playing 3 games a week, and the girls were getting to sort of spend a lot of time with each other on the road, and it just built our team spirit. I mean, not that it was bad anyway, but it just added. And you had that period of playing 3 games a week, which obviously meant they had to be on their A game, they had to be fit, they had to be have the best recovery, and then to come back and perform again. We played all of the top teams within the league. We had still had them to come, and they were going to be like the last few games of the season. First of all, we had to go away and play Ipswich in the. I mean, you couldn't make it up. It was just like a flipping Henry. We got Ipswich in the 5th round of the FA Cup.
This is an excellent story. I love this story to bits. It was a real shame that, again, I'm sorry. I'm a big. I love the FA Cup, and I just wish that they were able to push it out a little bit more, because there's that moment in that game that sums up the beauty of the FA Cup.
It was absolutely phenomenal. Go on, I'll let you.
No. I'll let you explain, because you're the Saints fan. Yes, you've drawn Adam in. Just explain it in your own words, because this is an FA Cup folklore that no one's been able to see, because it hasn't been allowed on footage at all.
No, well, sorry, I don't know about that.
Well, so you've seen it on Twitter, but that's about it. Because
no, absolutely, Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, in that respect, it wasn't out there. So you have to imagine that we've yet to play Ipswich in the league, and we're heading into this FA Cup game, which is pretty much us, because they were second at the time. We were, actually, no, they were top at the time. We were second, and we had all these games still in hand that we still had to play, and we still had yet to play them in the league, and we still had the likes of Oxford and Portsmouth as well, which, any one of those teams could have taken points off us, and that was it. Our season was over. But FA Cup, first of all, and we went into that game, and as I said, Ipswich, not the friendliest of people. Bless them. Not the you know how there's a lot of people who kind of go, women's game, it's women's football. We'll all kind of get together and we'll have a great time, and you don't have to segregate us. We'll be fine. Not with Ipswich. It won't happen like that. It's definitely a case of segregation. Anyway, it was a really hostile match, and you've got two sides that are really good, really competitive, and are just going at it. But it was a stalemate. It was a complete stalemate until they won a penalty from us. And up steps Paige Peake, who probably from that game is now at Southampton. She did what Paige Peake does absolutely amazing. So yeah, she will be one of our penalty takers on Thursday if it comes to it. And she slots it home. They go absolutely crazy. They think they've won it again. And we kind of like, but we never gave up hope. Anyway, it gets to full time, and you're like, right, okay. Goes into time added on. Kayla comes up from the other end of the pitch. This is our goalkeeper, and we win a corner. So Kayla comes up, we win a corner. Kayla comes up. Lucia, she whips in a ball, gets it right on the head of Kayla, who smashes it into goal. And we go absolutely ballistic. It was the most, I mean, yeah, you have to see it. It is phenomenal. What she did was just amazing. Anyway, so we go crazy. The game goes to penalties, and unfortunately we didn't progress. But no, but it's the point was the fact that it got through that game right at the last minute. Kayla comes up from her end, comes up, scores that equalising header. We all go wild, and then but so you've then got all these Ipswich fans who then think they've won the league again because they've managed to beat us twice now, and they're kind of going, we've betted you in the cup, and we're like, you do realise there's no cup for getting to the quarterfinals, right? There isn't one. So then we've got I think we had another 3 games to go. No, another 2 games to go before we then played. I think we played Keynsham. We beat them like 9-0 away. We then had. We must have had Oxford. Yeah, we had Oxford. Oxford took us to the wire. The game was. Oh no, sorry, rein it back. So we played Ipswich in the cup in, I think it was the end of March-ish time. We then had to play them on the 2nd of April in the league game. And as I said, you get nothing for coming second for getting into the quarterfinals. Nothing. There's nothing. You just got to play against West Ham and lost 1-0. Rip. Anyway, we all then go up there again. And at this time, it was a masterclass from Lucia Kendall. She whips one in, she scores. We then had someone, I think Paige then also had another penalty. She scores that against us. And then we had the winning goal. I can't even remember who scored it, but we won 2-1. We won the league that day. We still had about another 4 games to play, but we won the league that day. And Ipswich kind of like, that's it. And literally their manager was like, that's it, we're done. He'd given up already, even though there was still like 3 weeks left of the season. Poor him. And we then went on to, we had to beat Oxford and we had to beat Portsmouth to win the actual league, to sort of say it was ours. But Ipswich had given up by that point, which was really funny. And Oxford took us to a 3-3 draw. And then we won the league at home at St Mary's, with a crowd of about 6,000. Won it 2-0, and we got to lift the cup in front of all of our home support. We'd also won the League Cup that year, and then by winning the league, obviously, we then had to go on and play the playoff final, which has now been scrapped.
Yeah,
and
this is what to get to, because you won the league, but that doesn't give you a play. You don't get into the championship for doing that. You have to do the playoff, don't you? Is it the relegated team from the championship, or is it this another league?
No. So the tier 3 is split into 2. You have a Southern League. You have a Southern League, which goes up to about Birmingham, sort of like the cut-off. And then you have the Northern League, which is everybody above that. And there's 12 teams in each. And up until last year, you had to go. So it was top of the Southern, top of the Northern. They had to play this playoff final that happened 3 weeks after the league had finished. So you've got a 3-week gap before you play again. And then whoever won that is the one who progressed to the championship. But now that's scrapped. That's all gone. Good. So yeah, it is good. Although it was a lovely trophy, and I'm really glad we won it. So
who was it you beat to get in the? Who was it you beat in the playoff? Then was it?
It was Wolves. Wolverhampton.
Right. I do recall hearing about that game vaguely. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the championship now.
And then we got into the championship. Yeah, so we've been in the championship for a year and this is our 2nd season. So and we started off our first season. We had our first game was a massive wake-up call to the championship. We lost 2-0 to Charlton, who got 2 penalties.
Of course.
2 penalties, but they didn't score one of them, but they handballed their second goal and still won. So hence cheating Charlton. I'm expecting to hear like a Muttley sort of chuckle in my ear, just hearing about this. If I could, I would be. Sorry, boys. And then we then went away to Lewis, and that game, the first half, it was a game of 2 halves, literally, and they were 2-0 up. And we came out and we turned it around. Ella Morris scored our first goal in the championship with her. She was just amazing. And it's funny because she wears the number 2 shirt. But pretty much she's a really versatile player, and you'll see her more effectively used by Marianne as like a winger. And so she was on as a winger, and she kind of pushed up, and we had the bench of the Lewis lot behind us, and they're like, oh, she's a number 2. What's she doing that far up the pitch? Anyway, she scored. It's like, that's why. And then Laura Rafferty, she had a lovely chip and got us our second goal in the championship and our first point within the championship. And we then went on a lovely 9-game unbeaten run up until Christmas last year. Yeah, and then unfortunately second season we tailed off a little bit, and that's we finished 6th, but yeah, we've come back fighting this season. No. Go on.
Oh, so I was going to say, the way you describe, obviously, the matches, they sound fantastic to hear. But is it not frustrating just there's no coverage of this with the championship? That there's no, apart from maybe one goal you'll get at the end of the women's football show, there's very limited coverage of the championship.
So I think the year before was more frustrating for us. You know, from the 21-22 season, we were not getting Twitter updates. So if you didn't go to an away match, you had no idea what was happening. And that's when my fellow co-hosts came into well, they kind of stepped in. So they started a Twitter. They both started a Twitter within about 3 weeks of each other, and named it Saints FC fans or what have you. And that was in October of 21, and through that they kind of started building buy-in, well, not buy-in, but a supporter base. The club then took on that Twitter, and in January of 22, and we started getting match day graphics. We started getting up match day, minute by minute up. Well, not minute by minute, but key moment updates, which was something that we'd never had. And we didn't have the likes of FA Player at the time, so sometimes the games would be streamed if the club were able to do so. But you're really heavily reliant on that. We were also really heavily reliant on the men's club to kind of post anything about the women. So it's we've only in the last year they also then started up an Instagram site, and we get sort of updates from that, but it's really difficult. There's a lot more they can do. There's so much more they can do, and they are getting there. It's a lot of work, and I think we've helped with it. We no doubt we've helped with it. We've pushed them, and we're starting to sort of see a lot of benefit now, and we're getting back more, and they're getting more from us, and it's a nice little synergy, and it's growing. It's always growing. It's just going to take work, and we know that, and I think a lot of us are in for that. We're quite happy to give up our evenings and our weekends. We just want to support the girls, because they deserve it. This is someone's daughter, their girlfriend, their partner. This is girls who have dreams, and they just want to play football, and they want to do the same thing as the men do, and get the same kind of accolades and the same rewards. And so we really want to just enhance what the club put out there, and just get the word out that women's football, it's a great watch. Come and watch us. That's what our aim is.
The game that's happening on the Thursday night match, this is up St Mary's.
Yeah.
So is this going to be streamed on the Southampton website as well? Because of the occasion.
Do you know what?
I believe Arsenal are going to do it for their. Well, they usually do.
Yeah. Had confirmation of who's going to have the FA Player, do we? I think it might be Brighton.
Right.
Not Brighton. Sorry, Bristol have that live one. Or I might be getting things confirmed, but not confirmed. Sorry, scrambled.
But this is the problem with the Conti Cup, because of no TV rights, you're having to jump around the different websites. You don't know if it's the FA Player or if it's the club home site or the away site or who's covering it at all. Me and Matt, we're lucky enough to be there for the game. We can't wait, but for many who are watching around the world, Saints and Arsenal fans. I'm guessing it's not been confirmed who's actually going to be broadcasting it.
It's a good point, actually. I think from a Saints point of view, we're just hoping that as many people are there actually at the stadium on, on Thursday. But whether the game will be streamed as well, I'll definitely find out, because we can find that one out and let you know. Because sure, you guys you've got a little bit of a bigger fan base. Yeah, no, I get it.
Not doing a stream, or
yeah,
we absolutely want to, because we will get plenty of messages saying, where can we watch this? Because the classic was lockdown. When we had lockdown Conti Cup, the only way you knew if anything was happening for an Arsenal game was Tim Stillman updates, leading to the legendary tweets that happened. We were celebrating yesterday, over the weekend, of the more. I don't know if you saw it. There was a penalty shootout between Arsenal and Spurs that ended with Alex Morgan spooning it over the bar and Mia Velti scoring, and it's sort of and all Tim's tweet was just Morgan misses and Velti scores, and that was it. I mean, our campaign was a mess, but that was sort of the high point. I mean, I know Matt enjoyed it, being a Lea Velti fan, but that was So hopefully someone will be able to watch it. St Mary's. So where do you normally play your games, if not at St Mary's? Just for people that don't know, maybe we want to pop down to the South Coast and have a watch.
So we actually play our games at St Mary's.
Oh, they're all at St Mary's now. They have gone full St Mary's.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, superb.
Yeah. So literally, moving up to the Championship, the club said, right, that's it. You are Southampton. You deserve to play here. You are going to play here, and we're playing at St Mary's.
That is fantastic.
That's brilliant. It is really good. And we the whole way through last season, we had the highest attendances across the board for all championship games. All championship games, we were the highest attendance for every single game, even the ones that we went to. So the away attendances, we've got a really good little following that's coming with us now, and and it's just growing. We had our first, I know it sounds crazy, but we had our first full coach, went up to Crystal Palace yesterday, and I was blown away. It was absolutely amazing. And that was club arranged. It was all, it's compared to last year where we took about, I don't know, I think we took like 16 people up to Sunderland for an 11:30 kickoff, leaving at 3:30 in the morning. The club have been brilliant. They've supported us and they've taken us, and we've gone, and it's been fantastic. And it's not just the mums, it's not just the parents. We're growing in numbers, and we swell. Sometimes we would like more than the actual home support. It was surreal last year, really surreal. This year our numbers have gone down a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of people bought season tickets because I thought, I want to jump on board. Saw the Euros and thought it'd be fantastic. And then, unfortunately, I think a lot of us, we also, if you're like I don't know if you guys follow the men as well. If you're like both teams, or if it's just like the women,
I'm a both teamer. But obviously the men's team got relegated, sadly, and I can sort of understand that might have caused a bit of a sort of lack of disappointment in the club. Might have had a trickle effect on the women's team. Maybe that was it, but I think it's just the time. A lot of our weekends now. Well, so certainly last year it was really hard going. I think about 3 games. It sounds really bad. 3 games clash, but that's 3 games out of 22, isn't it? Which you might have to miss one or other. And I was actively having to choose. Right, okay, I'm going to the women because they need me more, rather than 30,000 men. Shit football at the bad football at the moment. Right. It's a bit easier being an Arsenal fan because there is no choice, because the men's are all sold out. It's just I'll just go to the women's game.
Interesting.
I'll go to a men's game when I can. I mean, I've got a membership, but I'm not a season ticket holder with them, and I probably never will be just because of the waiting list. So it's like,
I hear about
go to the women's game. And We get the occasional Emirates game, but Meadow Park is a fantastic ground. So it works quite well. But I can totally get, especially juggling the two, especially when in the same stadium, and you got two avenues to juggle. It is, We've had a few moments. I remember there was a derby, I think the North London Derby, at Emirates Stadium, and then immediately afterwards at Meadow Park, we had a home game against Man City, and people were having to get people to sprint across North London to get to the different stadiums. Sky scheduling has got a lot to answer for us.
Oh, it does. So, and it's I mean, it's not so bad now. We haven't, fortunately, the one good thing about being in the Championship, you kind of know when your games are going to be. They're going to be on a weekday, probably a Tuesday, and you're going to play on a Saturday. Fantastic. Women can play on a Sunday. Brilliant. I think just people just, there was a lot of people who went, and then we didn't. And then because we sort of had such a drop off, I mean, it was a drop off, but it wasn't. Technically we could have finished as high as third last year, I think. This is fourth, but just results. We lost our last game of the season. Unfortunately, yes, we got sixth. But first season in the Championship, fantastic. It was amazing. This year we've recruited well. We've got some really good players. The appetite from the team it's just there. You can just see that they're all working for each other, and they're having absolute joy to watch this year. Not that they weren't last year, but there's just something a little bit different. And if they can keep hold of that, then things look good for us, I think.
Looking towards the match, has there been any word on the level of attendance we can expect? Because I'm hearing the away support. Well, from our perspective, the away support's looking quite strong. I mean, you're talking about coaches and stuff, and one of the big positives about this season certainly has been the huge uptick in the away support. When Leicester City was a big example, with a huge turnout for that. So we're hoping to bring some noise to St Mary's. But what are we going to face at the other end of the pitch? Is it going to be a packed St Mary's or a half full? Or what we up against?
What are you up against? So for us then, our highest attendance was for the Tottenham game, technically, where we had about 8.5 last year.
How did that game go, by the way, the Spurs game? How did it?
It was really tight, actually. There was not a lot in it. They only won by 1-0.
Okay, all right. So that's why they're second group behind us. Okay, that's really good. So 8,000 is it good?
But that was last season.
Oh, sorry, I thought we meant this season. Sorry.
No. We haven't played them yet. They're our game in January.
It's Bristol and Reading that you've played at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, we've played Bristol and Reading, and beating Bristol was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, so Bristol was a tight 1-1, really tight. So we took it to penalties, and we beat them on penalties. So that was phenomenal. And then Reading, both teams, I would say, put out B teams for the game. Because Reading, bless them, I'm sure you've heard about what's happening at Reading. Yeah,
it's not good. It's all a bit disruptive, and it's really sad to see, because they were for many years a really good sort of stable WSL club that was sort of fighting against the tide of you don't have to be a Premier League club to be a WSL club. And they got some really good scalps. Beat Chelsea once, which was nice. And then they just sort of fell away. It was very sad to see.
Yeah, and it's not even just that. It's the fact that what's happening in their overall club. That they've got the whole finance problems that are going on, and there's wage, players not being paid, and sad times. It's not good. I don't like it that there's the independent clubs that have meant so much to the women's game, like your Donny Bells, the Yeovils, the Lewis to a degree. That it's, especially with the fact that the FA's turned around and said, right, all Premier League teams, you have to have a women's team, because you just know what's going to happen. It's a little bit worrying, that one.
Premier League clone, that's what it's going to be, isn't it? You're just going to have a WSL. Yeah, it is. But
what can you do? It is. But at the moment, we've hit the 10,000 mark. We've overhit the 10,000 mark.
Brilliant.
It would be absolutely phenomenal if we could reach the 15. I think if this game this weekend really helped, I wouldn't be surprised if I would love it if we hit 12, 13. 15 is like a dream.
That's going to be a bit Kevin Keegan then. I'd love it if we beat 12. I'd love it. I'd love it if we got 12. No, I mean, yeah. I can't wait to be there. I was there for the Euros for the England-Northern Ireland game. And
what a game that was.
It was fantastic. I think it was two goals at my end of the pitch, but I was right next to the Northern Ireland fans who did not stop singing for the entire. It was beautiful to watch, and it's a lovely stadium. Very much looking forward to going back there. So, what sort of team can we expect? Who should we be worried about as Arsenal fans? Thinking we've probably got a mental idea who we're going to have in our team. We might be some ridiculous, but who should we be concerned about from a Southampton perspective? Hello?
Hello?
No, I think. Oh well, we might have lost you there, but we'll try and get her back. But I'll come to you, Matt, very quickly while we have a look at that. How do you think Arsenal will be lining up for the game against Southampton?
Well, with that in mind, it is one of those ones where you think the players that didn't play will be definitely on. So I imagine Spooner in goal. Then left back again is between Katie and Steph again. Steph didn't start, so I imagine probably Steph starts this one. Then
it depends if they've taken off the knocks. That's the thing.
Yes,
there was a whole thing about the knocks.
That's the other thing. Yes, that's true. Centre back pairing, that probably means at the moment Leia Cadina's the only one that hasn't featured compared to some of the others apart from Jen. Jen wasn't on the bench at all last week, and so maybe Leia and Jen to start with, and then on the right hand side,
we are basically going like a full sort of photo negative on the entire team, aren't we? We basically, I mean, I don't think we've had a Jen Cadina sort of partnership.
I'm going to be honest. I think this is going to be the strongest team we're going to face. I think Tottenham aren't going to take this seriously.
You mean they'll play a second string?
So I imagine that, especially with I'm pretty sure we have a double North London derby in a row, haven't we? One at Meadow Park and then the next one at the Tottenham Stadium. So I imagine that with it, this is going to be our most difficult match. Southampton will 100% bring it on, no matter who they bring out. So it is a case of players being rotated and who comes in. That right hand side, Noel or Katie.
I think Noel will start again. I think Noel will share right back, and it might be cut left back. I think what would be interesting is the midfield, because there's a case that, well, if Kim's fit, you might start her with Velty, who only came off the bench. You could go arguably a first, or do you keep Kyra and Palova for 3 games in a row? 3 games in almost a weekish. Well, maybe not quite weekish, but it's like you've had them in the League Cup, the Leicester game. Well, with 4 games in a row, won't it? It'll be the League Cup, the Leicester game, the Brighton game, and then play them again. Yeah, I don't know. That seems a bit much, but I mean they have been terrific.
I think what's going to happen is, for definite, we're going to have if we'll have Frida coming on as the attacking midfielder, because she's slowly getting back to her usual self at the moment. There isn't as much of the shooting straight at the defender or passing it instead of passing it off or anything like that. There's less of that now, and it feels like she's slowly getting back to herself. So I'd like to see Frida start this one as the attacking midfielder. That then questions who you put in. I think you've made an excellent observation there, because both Leah and Kim wasn't there, but I would imagine maybe Kim would have to come in just to get some sort of minutes. So depending on the result, I'd imagine she probably comes off in the 60th to 65th minute mark, and then you play Kyra in there for the moment, or Katrine. Katrine's actually probably more favourable to start if you were
That's
to
a good point, actually. We could probably start maybe Katrine next to a Velti, or maybe next to a Kim, maybe sort of learn off her shoulder. It depends how tough Southampton are going to make us. We don't want to underplay our hand to the extent that we get sort of caught out, because it's from what we've learned, this Southampton team, especially under Marianne's watch, they're going to be up for this. And it's going to be a lot for Marianne as well. She's going to want to get one over Arsenal. You know, you want to sort of be a master apprentice sort of thing. I think
I wouldn't say this is like a sort of revenge or anything like that. I think this is going to be. But this is going to be the. Arsenal, it's almost like the very two similar teams are going up against each other. From the way that both of them play, I mean, the fact that they were playing Crystal Palace at the weekend and played in a 4-3 win for them just sort of tells you that there is vulnerabilities there, similar to Arsenal at times. Yeah. So I think we're going to see a fantastic game of football, and I
hope they don't go low block. I'm not saying I want them to come at us because it'd be easy for us, but I want to see. Yeah, it's not every time a WSL high level WSL team, which we are. No, it's not. Our boast comes to a ground like St Mary's. This is their cup final basically. I know he's saying that Jude was saying you don't win a trophy for simply beating a team in a cup, in the early rounds. But this is going to be a massive occasion for them, and I really hope they put on a really good spectacle for what sounds like it's going to be a record attendance. Over 10,000. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I think we'll need to make sure we don't go too over rotated. I think we need to have some experience in the team. I think Kim Little will provide that, and then I think we'll start with Stina. I think with Stina with Frieda in behind, and then I think we'll start with Hurtig on the left and Lacasse on the right. And I think it's similar to the Bristol City game.
I wouldn't be surprised, but at this moment in time, because Stina has started.
Do you think we might see? Was it Vivian Leah? Do you think we might see her start?
I do wonder if I know Viv's also had a bit of a knock, so I don't know if she's going to 100% be fit and available.
Which Viv?
But I genuinely think that there might be options out there where we might have to maybe stick Lena up top, and then maybe ideally you want Caitlin to rest because for the moment.
The one player you haven't mentioned is Beth.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Well, Beth started at the weekend, so whether she could play another game so quickly, but I'm sure she'll be a bench option. Absolutely.
Because if we don't see our Lionesses, I think you're going to have about 8,000 of that crowd be like, "What the hell?"
You'll have Lottie Woodman Moy.
That's true. That's true. But to be honest with you, I'd love from a Lioness head. I'd love to see Beth back. I think we're missing her in the Lionesses as much as you guys are probably missing her in Arsenal, although you're not now missing her in Arsenal. But you know what I mean. She's just such a player. She is so phenomenal. And if she doesn't get some minutes on Thursday, you're going to have a lot of people crying, as well as Russo. If we don't see Russo, there'll be a lot of people who would be like, "Well, kids, girls." A lot of the girls are going to be like really upset on that one.
She did score one of the goals of the tournament at St Mary's against Northern Ireland.
She did.
I would love it I'd love it if she could do that again. Maybe a bench option. I think obviously playing 90 minutes against Brighton, Jonas might think I'll keep on the bench for the West Ham game. One of the questions we just tried to ask you is what can we expect from Southampton? Who are the players that we should be worried about?
Yeah, so I think if you look at our game that we played yesterday, I would be very surprised if it's not a very similar lineup that comes out on Thursday. However, saying that, I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I don't know. You're right in as much as this is like a cup final. I don't want to say that though, because that's kind of really sort of.
No, but this is going to be probably
It's
one of
almost
the
like
biggest
a
games of the
test to
season.
say if you got promoted
Yeah.
next season.
Yeah.
This is how
and
you imagine your team would face against at St Mary's next season.
Yeah, and that's exactly how we are approaching it. We're like, we will 100% go into this game with the belief that we can turn you over. We you know, if we what's the point if we don't have that belief? And Marianne probably will put out her best 11, which, as I say, probably won't be that dissimilar to the team that came up against Crystal Palace. Now, the game yesterday, you can look at it and you can go, okay, we lost 4-3. Actually,
we won 4-3.
Sorry, we won 4-3. Oh, you know what I mean. Sorry, we won 4-3. We won. We most definitely won. So, but you could argue that, yeah, okay, we let in 3 goals. Now, you'd have to know what's happened throughout the season to kind of look at that and go, oh, hang on, that's not great. But we actually changed our formation yesterday. And so we kind of switched back to something that we haven't done for a while. And I think that's where where maybe some of the mix-ups came. And that's where how, Palace probably got advantage of that and made the most of it and got their goals. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting what lineup she comes out with, but also how she sets the team up. And I think, yeah, our captain's going to play, and that is Rosie Parnell. She is phenomenal. She is our unsung hero, as we like to call her, within our squad. And you will have Paige Peake in there. You've mentioned also Millie Mott, who she's not playing for the under-23s for the Lionesses. That's because she's fully focused on Saints, and she is just she's like Scholes. She's a bit like Alan Ball. I'm not kidding you. The girl is phenomenal. She can read a game, and she's that good. I can't. She's just brilliant. She's just one of a. She's just a player that it's her reading of the game that is just like it's years above her age. Years above her age. She's going to be 21 soon. She's at the end of this month. In fact, a day after. No, not a day. About 5 days after the game on Thursday, she's going to be 21.
Congratulations.
I don't know. I don't know why that came up, but yeah, it's because I know her. But when her birthday is, but she's like amazing. She's really good. You've then got Ella Morris, who we call her our star girl. That's the song that we have for her. It's Bowie's Star Man.
Star Boy, Star Girl, yeah, Star Man.
Yeah.
Quality song. Love a bit about it. So I can't wait to hear that in the stands.
Oh, we'll try. The funniest thing, I was watching I watched your game. Who were you playing last week?
Brighton.
Leicester or Brighton? Well, Brighton the weekend and then Leicester the weekend before.
Oh, it must have been Leicester the weekend before then. And because it must have been on an FA player. And all I could hear was the songs, and it was like, oh my God, we sing that for such and such player. We sing that for, yeah. I mean, if there's a gold standard when it comes to support, it's Arsenal. You guys are phenomenal.
You're us now. Stop it.
No, but it's true though, isn't it? And like also Bristol, I watched and listened to that game, and the amount of songs that you guys are churning out, and you just don't stop, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build that, and we're getting that. Well, we're not getting there. It's a work in progress, but the more we do it, the more we kind of just show that it's all right to make noise at football.
That whole support thing, we should just say, because it's been, I think Leicester, they celebrated a year of this group called the Red and White, and that was basically, I think, about 4 people in the stadium trying to sing, and only about 16 people had gone to the game, and it was just about just finding these people who were scattered across like the stadiums of the games, trying to amalgamate them together into sort of one creature. And now they're collecting North Bank, and it's like a magnet, just attracting more and more into it. And now we've got these huge travelling support. I mean, I went to the Spurs game last season with them, and it was brilliant. We get a pub beforehand. They all gather and they all go, and it's taken a year of just building and liaising with the club, and then you get moments, like you say, with the Leicester game where it all works out. And yeah, there are some chants that maybe do sound familiar because I think they transcend men's and women's football.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, and it shows what it can be if everybody's been pulled together. It sounds like Southampton are doing something pretty special there as well. So keep it up. Yeah, do please do. I can't wait to experience it.
Yeah, thank you. We'll try. I also went to your what was it? Which was the game? The semi-final, Champions League semi-final, Wolfsburg last year. I know it was a heartbreak. But what the atmosphere that you guys created in that stadium, it reminded me so much of the Euros final last year that I was blown away. It was just and it's like, that's what we want. That's where we want to be. And that's, we'll get there. We're aiming for it. But it was electric. And I was blown away by how good it was. And the thing I love about the women's one is there's none of the aggression. There's none of the negativity. There's none of the nastiness that you get with the men and the tribalism that you get with them. I mean, there's a tribalism, but there's not any of that angst and the anger and the frustration that you get in the men's game when things don't start going your way. It's just pure singing, and I love that. I absolutely love it, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, we just discussed because there was a bit of dispute with a steward who criticised the North Bank for using profanity in chants, and we always say we don't hurl abuse or anything like that, but we will say. We will sing and we will mock and we will joke. We won't cross lines, and a bit of profanity is not unheard of in a football match, especially a men's game.
No, don't even go there.
But you don't. But there are some chants, especially in men's football, that do cross the line. We're not going to obviously repeat them here, and you don't get those chants in women's football. It's a cleaner game. I think you can understand from a support perspective, and that's really, and that's one of the reasons I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely that, and I think we try really hard to kind of like change words. So like we had the Livramentos. No, hang on, not Livramento song. So Stargirl. Obviously, it's the effing words in there. We're like, no, we can't have that. So we changed that one to. So we changed that one to proper. So. She's proper dynamite, and it's just little things like that, and it's just we're trying to get a songbook out there. We're just trying to make it accessible for the kids, because that's at the end of the day, that's who I want there and enjoying it and singing, because some of them can have big lungs on them. They can can beat me most of the time.
We've got a few noisy kids at Meadow Park, that's for sure. We've got a few lungs on them.
Yeah, so it's just trying to adapt songs, but not too much, but also just to kind of just to get as many going as possible. And we I'm here. I know that you guys like to sing about Tottenham, and there could be.
We try not to during these at these sort of games. We won't sing about Tottenham. It'll be if we do play them, we will be singing about them.
Exactly, you're not going to be doing that, so that's brilliant. It's I mean, we had Birmingham at Tottenham, and there were these kids, and they just started in the shed, started singing, "If you are blue, you are poo," and it was. I mean, us adults were like wetting ourselves with laughter. It was brilliant. But then I had parents coming up to me going, "Look, I'm not really not sure about that. It's a bit of a hate speech." I'm like, "What?" But
I mean, I now want to have something of that immaturity in the North Bank. Just
I know.
I'm not sure who, Maybe against Chelsea, if you're wearing blue, you smell a poo or something. Oh, you can catch on. I think we could get it going around the Emirates.
It didn't come from me, okay? Didn't.
Absolutely. Don't worry. It's not like this podcast is going to be going live and going on
no.
and Spotify.
No, my co-host. I have to say, she's actually a Chelsea supporter. Yeah, so I won't get away with that one if you start that and it's my fault. Bless her.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so I think from a point of view of who will hurt you, we will give it our best shot. So
all
that's
of them.
all of them. They're all going to be up for it. I don't envy Marianne at all with regards to who's going to play. I do feel for some of the players who have been absolutely exceptional in our 2 Conti Cup games that we've played already. But I just think if the intention is to really go at you guys, you'll see our first team, and yeah, hopefully. I mean, you must have come across the likes of Katie Wilkinson.
Katie
Name
Wilkinson.
doesn't ring a bell for me, but
Sure, she at Sheffield United. Was she brought from Sheffield United? No, it wasn't Sheffield United. I'm sure she was with the WSL team, but she was on the fringes, so she didn't get many matches from memory.
So she was with Sheffield United, and I think it was with that team. She's been Golden Boot winner twice in the Championship. She came to us last season. And she's such a mature head, but she's such a baller. Her hold up play is amazing. She's unselfish. She's unselfish. Is that the right word? She doesn't. She just her eye for a pass, her hold up play, and the way that she can just do something with the ball. She's phenomenal. We're really lucky to have her, and she's absolutely class. I love her. She'll be definitely playing. And then you've got the likes of Molly Pike, brilliant. She was involved in all 4 goals that we had against Reading recently. All of them, she either scored them herself or was the integral in the build-up, or was gave 2 assists, just absolutely, or won the penalty. As I said, Lucia Kendall, Kira Walsh, Siley. But then you can't discount the likes of Lexi Lloyd-Smith, who, when she's brave, when she believes in herself, oh my God, that girl, you cannot control her. She is, she's a nightmare for the for defence. There's lots of players. But then equally, you could come up against Megan Wynn, who's my little Miss Tenacious, as I call her. She's an absolute terrier. She's fabulous. Like McCabe. There's a lot in our team who we feel and who we will be 100% behind, and they will absolutely relish this, because it's not about the fact that we're playing you, it's about the fact where we want to be. And it's a chance for us to test ourselves. And we did it against Bristol, we did it against Coventry, as I said in the past, and it's a real benchmark for us. And we'll 100% give you a game. Absolutely, we're going to give you a game.
I remember some old Conti Cup games. I've been going through some old highlights. We play teams like London Bees or LCL, and it's like 8-0 and 9-0. I don't want a game like that. I want this to be a proper contest.
Oh, you're not going to get a game like that.
By the sound of things, we're going to get a proper tussle on the South Coast, and I don't think Mio and Matt can wait for it.
Yeah, I genuinely cannot wait. I'm counting the days till I'm back down in Southampton. I love the city. I love the people. And it's a great place. It's a great city, and it's a great club as well. And the women's team are very special, and they're definitely ones to keep an eye on if you are looking for a team to keep an eye on in the Championship. So just before we go, where can people find you, Jude?
You mean for, like I said, with the pod, or do you mean actually
with
the games?
with the pods,
Personal
or
pod,
where can they
social,
find the supporters club as well?
So we have three Twitter handles on good old Twitter, or X as it now is.
X.
No one calls it that, though, do we? So obviously we're All Saints Pod, All Saints Podcast, and then it's Saints Fans W1 or WC, which is our supporters group one, and then Southampton FCW1, which is our Saints Fans handle. We're on Facebook as well. You can find us there. Southampton FC Women's Supporters Group, and then we're also All Saints Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram, although I'm not so good on that one. Two social medias is great for me, but anything more and I can start panicking. We haven't made it to TikTok or anything like that. Although we're heading that way. We're trying to enlist some younger people.
Give it time.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Before the game, we'll either be in Browns, which is on Millbank Street, which is near the stadium, or we will be in the Gasworks, which is actually in the stadium, but on the opposite side from. So you guys are all going to be in the Northern, if that's where you're sitting. So if you then went to the right of the stadium, there's a bar in the stadium that you can probably be welcome in as well. So we'll be there, and I'm really jealous of all those people who've gone for hospitality. I've done hospitality once. It's not me because I can't scream my little head off. So I will be sitting with the masses and hopefully making my voice known if it recovers on Thursday. But yeah, all those people who are going to be in hospitality, I think they're going to be in for a real treat as well on Thursday, because we've managed to sell out pretty much all of that as well on Thursday.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. In fact, all full stands are may not be full, but there's going to be a lot of people in each stand, which is unheard of for us.
I hope there's going to be plenty of noise and plenty of cause for noise. If you want to follow me and follow my exploits, winding up other football fans, which brings me
go on then.
No greater level of joy, in life than poking the bears of the many rival WSL clubs. Then you can follow me at Adam Salter 4.
Wonderful.
We've already had a couple of bites from Chelsea and United fans over the couple of days about attendances. So
it's been a wild morning, shall we
say?
Really? In the world of
bless
you can find me at MattLR28, or you can also follow us on the at VAW podcast. That is all for our matchday preview. I want to thank Jude for joining us from the Saints podcast, All Saints
Thank
podcast.
you for having us.
It's been a pleasure having you on, and hopefully we can have you on again soon.
Yeah, that'd be great. And good luck for the rest of the season. I'm pleased to see you guys got some points and are moving up that table. Yeah, that must have been a bit of a nerve wracker at the beginning.
It's been a rocky start. Rocky start for the season, but we're getting there now. Chelsea going into their last season with Emma Hayes. She's only got one thing on her mind. So it'd be interesting to see what you guys do.
We'll keep an eye on for definitely. And that is all for us as we've run out of time. So thank you so much for joining us, and hope to hear you from next time. Goodbye.
Yeah, see you later.